Hey guys, Ramblin Bob here, again with another update for the Pecron. Okay, so I'm still waiting for those new charging boards that Pecron's going to send me for those EB3000 solar panels, the 330 watt ones. So I'm still waiting for those. I just thought I'd give an update because I got more questions from subscribers. One is, what happens if I have 1200 watts of solar coming in and I'm using 1000 watts going out? So basically they have 1000 watts of solar coming in, and let's say they get 1200 watts of solar and their draw is 1000 watts. Well, what happens is the system has what's known as a charge-through feature. So whatever you use will be used directly through the system out the other side, and that will power your 1000 watt draw. Now, you're going to lose a little bit in conversion. It takes energy to make energy. Now, whatever you have left over of that, let's say you have, let's say you were actually getting in 1200 watts and you were using 1000, it might take possibly 1100 watts to make that 1000, and then you'd have 100 watts left over, if that makes sense to you. And that 100 watts will go into the batteries. So you don't lose it. It just keeps charging. So it's like an in-between thing that's powering your device, and then whatever's left off is going into your battery cells. So you're charging your system very, very slowly, but you're not using the system's power because it's kind of going right through. Hence the name charge through. Okay. Number two, who pays for shipping if we have to return one of these? That's a tricky situation because most of the times, unless it's a manufacturer defect, most of the times these companies will make you pay it back. And there's two major important things you have to know about a system like this. Number one, it's heavy, and number two, it's a hazardous material when you ship it. So that puts the price up a lot. Shipping is all done by the weight, and then there's another category which is like batteries and flammables. Have you ever been to the post office and they ask you, is there anything liquid, fragile, perishable in there? There's a reason for that, because if you ship something at any place, FedEx, UPS, DHL, post office, and you don't let them know that something is hazardous or potentially perishable inside there, you could get a very, very large fine. So watch out for that, guys. You have to tell them it's a battery, it's lithium iron phosphate, because batteries can cause real problems, if you know what I mean. They had like shippers that like exploded because of the lithium-ion batteries that they were shipping. So if you don't tell a carrier that it's potentially dangerous, they might be a little rough with the box, and next thing you know, you have a problem on your hand. So watch out for that. And then how much does it cost? Because of the hazardous material classification being a battery, right, and the weight of it, that means that, well, for me, it was almost $100 to ship one back. And I've heard that from many people, about $100 to ship a 50-pound battery, because maybe there's a 50 pounds. It's not like, mailing a letter, a letter. I mean, if you think a small envelope is like $2, $3, right? Where you put like your tax papers in there and you ship it off, that could be like $2 or $3 depending on how you ship it. But when you talk about 50 pounds and the hazardous material inside this box that could potentially cause a problem or harm to somebody, well, you have to pay extra. Okay, so question number three, can I update the firmware on these models? No, you cannot. You have to ship these back to Pecron. That's one of the main reasons why we have done so many tests on this, to make sure it's a good system for you guys. We took all the bullets and bumps to make sure that this system works as best as it can before you guys buy it. That was the whole point of starting this entire channel, was because of that hidden menu. I want everyone to know about the pluses and minuses of every system that we review here, just as an honest opinion. That way you know what you're stepping into before you jump in. When you go swimming, you put your toe in the pool. You don't just go, butt over head, if you know what I mean, right into the pool. Some people do. They're crazy. They're crazy to me. But I always test the waters and then I jump in. It's just how people should be buying electronics too. Test it. Watch the reviews, guys. Watch the reviews. Some of the most important reviews you guys should be watching are the negative ones. Because here's the thing. Here's an industry secret that people don't tell you. These companies, Not Pecron in general. I don't know about Pecron, but there are companies out there that will pay you to leave them positive reviews. I was approached by one company, I won't say the name, but they said if I were to buy their product on Amazon, right, and then I tested it out, and if I left a positive review, they would give me all my money back. I don't do it that way. If you want me to review your product, you have to ship it to me at no cost. Otherwise, I will not review your product. Unless I buy it with my own money, then I'm going to review your product. Because I'm not a bought and paid for guy. This is not an infomercial channel. This is not a commercial channel. This is a review, my opinions, and what I think about the product. And I think that's why this channel is growing as fast as it is because I let people know what I really think. I'm not bought and paid for. You cannot offer me any deals like that. I won't take them. I just won't take them. I'd rather shut down the channel than do that. So hopefully you guys have a lot of respect for that. I know I do. I know. My opinion matters. Number 4 is, can I order this model in black? So I was told by Pecron a few times that they were sold out of the black versions. It's a pretty neat looking version, but I don't know if they're going to make any more. I assume they are, but I have not heard back yet, and I want to make sure that I have the correct information before I answer that. So the only information I have right now is they're sold out. I don't know if they're going to make any more. Okay, number 5 is the quote-unquote weird charging ports. Guys, I'll unhook these real quick. These are my solar strings. These are called aviation 5-pin ports, 5-pin aviation. They're really not weird. These have been around a very long time. They use them in radios and obviously aircrafts because it's aviation port. And then there's a barrel port up here. So you have 2 options here. Now, the neat thing with, I don't use the barrel. I think it's nice but kind of useless. You know, to try to charge 8 kilowatts through this at 100 watts, it would take you 80 hours. At 5 hours a day of solar sun, it would be a long amount of days. So, but Pecron gives you everything you need when you buy the system. This is the industry standard right here. This is called MC4. This will literally go to any mainstream solar panel company in the world. This is the #1 industry standard for connections for solar panels. I think, and people might argue with it, but I think the #2 most sought after connection is called Anderson Power Pole, and that looks like this. These are, if you've seen these I had back in the Radio Shack days with like speakers and stuff like that. There's a positive and a negative, and they're clearly marked. And then you can pull this little rubber piece down, see, and then you can pull these apart and swap them. But this is a pretty old port too. I remember putting car stereos together with these guys. They're nice, but they're not watertight. They're watershed, but not watertight. And that's why these, I think, are the industry standard, because when you put these together, that creates a water seal. These are waterproof. You have a waterproof seal here, the rubber silicone seal, and that way the moisture can't get inside there. And then you also have watertight, if I can open this here, seals that are on this side. See, I can't even get this out because I think there's our one piece. Nope, here it comes. Okay. Okay. Do you see that rubber seal in there, guys? So that little rubber seal, I think it's silicone. Oops, sorry. I think that's silicone. Everything is usually silicone nowadays. So that goes inside there. And then see this here? This is a pressure port kind of thing. That goes on top of that port, and then it gets pressure fitted by this little cap. This screws it down and creates a waterproof, not watershed, this is waterproof. You could literally put this underwater. I don't know how long for, but you can literally put it underwater for a time being. I don't do that, obviously, but that's, I think, why they're the industry standards, because they're a lot safer. Now, if you put 2 of the Anderson power poles together, this part right here does not seal waterproof. It's watershed. As you can see that little, well, you can see better on this side. See that little crack right there? So as you cover that, there's nothing preventing, see, I can put my finger in there. There's nothing preventing, there's no O-rings or washers to actually prevent that from being an actual waterproof seal. So hopefully I got all this on camera here. But Pecron gives you all these guys. So you go from a 5-pin aviation port, and you don't have to pay extra for any of these. So the one that you're going to be using 99% of the time, I think, is the 5-pin aviation, which takes it into one of their ports. They have 2, and then it goes to the MC4s. But they also have, if you have older solar panels, or a different company solar panels, you have your 5-pin aviation to, look at this, Anderson power pole, right? So you have that. These all come in the box. You also have your 5-pin aviation to barrel. I believe that's 5521. So basically you plug that in here and you put one of those, like say if you had, you know, a fold-up one, a smaller fold-up one, but it has to go up to 32 volts to start charging this. That's the only trouble with this, is you have to get that voltage up. So you have to put a couple in series somehow. Little adapters like that to put them together so you can get the voltage up, or you can just put your 100-watt solar panel right into this bad boy here and you're done. But this is a way where you can put up to 6 of them in parallel or series, depending on how you configure your setup there, and then you can pull up to 600 watts. They also give you the 5-pin aviation port to the cigarette lighter, which we all know is a cigarette lighter. A lot of people call it a car port. I'm an old guy. This is a cigarette lighter. You know that thing that says, you know, you light your cigarettes on? You plug that right in that hole, and then that charges right through there. The only thing is, like I said, it has to be able to go up to 32 volts to start charging from this. So this one is actually used for the batteries, the EB3000, so you can charge those. Then you can actually start them at 12 volts all the way to 95 volts. This system is 32 volts all the way up to 95, and then 12 to 18 up here. But yeah, this cord is, you could plug directly into the EB3000 and charge it that way. But that's just to give you guys an idea of how many options. I mean, they give these to you when you buy the system and you buy the batteries, to give you an idea of how many options they have to charge it. And then for the outputs, they have if you guys remember the old alligator clips that you know, basically jumper cables, and you'd put those on a battery, and you can pull energy from the battery into a car battery or something like that. They also give you an XT60 output with the other half of this, the cigarette lighter or the barrel, like this. That way you can draw this, or the, we call them alligator clamps. So that's a way to get energy out of the battery. But once it's a full system, guys, there's literally, of what I can think of, there's literally no cable that you would need other than maybe Y adapters. And a Y adapter is just how it sounds, where you can put, you know, 2 solar panels so you can run them parallel or something like that into, you know, the aviations, or you can go directly through the batteries. But all right, that's just a heads up, guys, just an update for the Pecron. You can see it's still running fine, using 312 today. So I average mine anywhere between 5 watts on the lowest end, and then maybe, I don't know, I want to say maybe like 500 to about 500. And then when it's surge rushed, it's up to maybe 1,000 to 1,200. I don't have much on the system. It's just my workshop, so whatever I'm using. I do have a fridge and a freezer, which is a 5 cubic foot freezer and a 7.4 cubic foot refrigerator security system. And then I also have a very long power strip that you know, does all my tools on my workbench. But other than that, I run off my solar. My electric bill is literally almost nothing. And the only reason why I say literally almost nothing is because no matter where you live, the electric company will still charge you to have access to the grid, which means you have to pay fees, you know, no matter if you use the electricity or not. You have to pay the mandatory fees. It would be the same as you guys registering a car and then not driving it. You still pay for the registration, and you can't get that back. And that goes the same with the electric company. They kind of have a monopoly on that. And once they're hooked to your house, you know, you can't even disconnect electric from your house without getting in trouble from your company. So, yeah, don't do that. So, all right, I just want to give you guys another update, just let you know. My system runs fine. As far as those lights, I keep getting asked about those darn lights on the batteries. Guys, I'm gonna be real honest. I do not pay any attention to those lights at all, ever, for any reason. I might glance at them from time to time, but I literally don't pay attention to them. The system works. And you know, the old saying is, if it works, you know, don't fix it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Sometimes the lights will be on and sometimes they'll be off. The only light that you have to worry about, that I found out that you have to worry about, is you have like 4 different styles of lights on these things. You have where all the lights go like this, right? Where all the lights, there's 5 of them. There's a 1 green one and there's 4 white ones. They'll go like that, kind of in that pulsing. And that's basically the battery about to wake up, if you will. Then you have a red solid light that comes on. That means that the voltage is different from the rest of the system, and it's equalizing, the same as if you stood on one side of a swimming pool and removed a barrier and one side was higher, it would kind of go like this. And depending on the voltage difference, it takes time to balance. Voltage flows just like water. It just goes from the higher one to the lower one, no matter which direction that is. And then you have a solid green light, which means that it's on and synced, and this system and the batteries work together. The only one that you have to worry about that I know of, the only one, is a quick flashing like this red light. Now what I believe that is that's over voltage. When you're charging your batteries, and if you see that light flash like that, it's fast, okay? That means that the battery is getting pushed too hard, too fast, too full, and you're going over the amount that it was designed for. So all you have to do is just pull out your like if you're charging it, you just pull out your chargers, let the system calm down, let those batteries balance again, and the one battery that was pushed a little too hard will equal to the rest of the system. Like I said, it's like soda. If you spill soda on the ground, it literally goes to the path of least resistance, right? So that little soda trail will, taper off downhill, and that's what voltage does. It starts up here and it ends up down there. So it kind of like a swimming pool. That's the best way I can explain it. How I learned it is voltage is like a swimming pool. So if you had 2 pools and they were different heights, the water would fill this pool, but it has to do it slowly. If it goes too fast, it'll go over and, kind of pop that battery. So the batteries are designed to slow sync, I think that's about it for today's update. I just always want to keep you guys in the loop of everything that I'm experiencing with this system. I have about 7 power stations in this room alone. These are the ones I use for my shop, so I focus on it, the ACOUCOU and the Pecron. I have Mylon. I have other ones, but like I said, these are the ones I focus on in these reviews. But I'll get into other ones later. All right, guys, if you have any questions, please feel free. If I can't answer it, we can obviously find somebody. Our scriber family is growing very, very quick now. I think we got like 250 scribers. Welcome, all of you guys. I'm really happy to have you here. We can work as a team. If any of us have any questions or problems, we can all kind of chat and see, and then we can all kind of use our technology the way it's designed, enjoyably. All right, guys, ramble on. Like the video. Let people know that the information is solid. It's good. If you're not a scriber already, I welcome you. Please join the family. We want to get a real big channel. Like I said, I can't be bought. I can't be paid for. I've had companies already offer me money and products if I leave a positive review. I will not do that if I don't like something. If you guys go back in my videos, I talked very crucial about probably 4 or 5 things I didn't like with the system, and you know what? Pecron stepped up to the plate and they fixed them. So that's, in a nutshell, that's my attitude toward it. To me, my name is everything, and I'm not going to ruin that for stupid products or stupid money. All right, guys, ramble on. Be safe, and I'll see you again. Bye.